welcome back to another reaction video. Yes, long time no video making. My bad. Yeah. Okay, today I'm going to be reacting to 10 Dark Disney Princesses theories that will ruin your childhood. I would suggest that. It says by... Hold on. By Screen Rant. Okay. So let's just jump right into it.
Since 1937, Disney princesses have come into our lives and made us dream of Prince Charming and true love. But these fairy tales aren't as squeaky clean and innocent as they appear. Just wait until you find out the bodily mutilation in Cinderella, or the proof that Snow White is actually dead. Watch this video to find out all these morbid theories, but be ready to put your childhood behind you. You're brave enough, aren't you?
Oh dear, what an awkward situation.
Are you to the Screen Rant? Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on everything movies and give us a like.
The parents and the children could have fun together.
No mothers. The lack of a mother figure in Disney films is often talked about, sometimes replaced with an evil stepmother or a powerful father. In 2018, there are 27 motherless Disney characters, which...
What?
Films is a strong statement in itself. The theory, which is based on half fact, states that Disney stopped depicting mother figures after his own mother died. Walt blames himself for her death, and since then could never bring himself to show mothers in films. So why does he carry this heavy weight on his shoulders? Walt and his brother Roy moved their mother to a nicer home once they had the money from their company. However, due to a broken furnace, their mother died from carbon monoxide poisoning. Undeniably, the brothers couldn't help but think that they were the ones who put her in the house. They were devastated. It was the defining moment in Walt's life, until his own death. While he was alive, Disney Studios films rarely portrayed mothers. Years later, Walt's daughter Sharon asked him where her grandparents' graves were. Walt snapped, saying, "I don't want to talk about it." So, yeah, the motherless princesses are not a diverse story choice, but the influence of tragedy on the great Walt Disney's psyche.
What a pity Prince Philip can't be here to enjoy the celebration.
Sleeping Beauty's origin. Okay, so this one isn't so much of a dark theory as it's a dark origin story. An origin story that is shocking and disturbing, to say the least.
That was rude of you. How you just gonna cut off in the middle of my video? And so we're back.
Sleeping Beauty is one of the main Disney princesses that is known for pricking her finger on a cursed spinning wheel spindle and is left to sleep forever, only until she's awakened by her one true love.
Okay, wait. I have never watched Sleeping Beauty. I've heard of it, and I've seen, like, a couple of clips of it, but I've never actually watched the movie. Like, is that a bad thing?
Powerful kiss.
Fireworks!
Adorable, isn't it? Well, just you wait. We're here to ruin your childhood for good. Because if this won't do it, nothing can.
And we must.
So, in the Giambattista Basile version of Sleeping Beauty, Aurora is not woken by the kiss of a prince, but by the birth of twins. But how, you ask? Well, it actually finds Aurora, gets her pregnant, and then leaves. Already has a wife. Classic men. Aurora shows up to the castle with her children, and the prince's wife attempts to kill them, but is stopped by the king. The king then allows Aurora to marry the man who raped her while she was in a cursed sleep. Wow, what a beautifully disgusting love story made into an animated Disney film. We wonder who found this story and thought, yeah, this is for kids. There you go, folks. Some warm fuzzies to dream about.
I'm so ashamed of the fuss I made.
Snow White dies. The first ever feature-length Disney animated film was Snow White,
Yes.
an adaptation of the fable by the Brothers Grimm. Though the film seemingly ends on a positive note, with Snow and Prince Charming riding off into the sunset, one Reddit user, Sherazad, has a theory with a much darker ending. His theory states that Prince Charming is actually dead, and that Snow White isn't woken up in the end, but is actually taken by death from her tomb into the afterlife. After all, Snow only meets Prince Charming the first time by the water, well, where she runs away with fear.
Don't run away.
If the prince is a metaphor for death, then of course she was terrified of him. At the end, when he kisses her and wakes her up, she isn't afraid. They then ride off on a white horse, a biblical reference from the book of Revelation. Movie Pilot said in response to the theory that it also might explain why Snow says such a heartfelt goodbye to the dwarves. If she was just marrying some dude, she definitely could go back to visit them. So we're pretty certain Snow White dies and Prince Charming takes her off into the sunset, or heaven. Morbid or beautiful, we're not really sure. Either way, she did.
I just finished the most wonderful story.
Belle is actually in love with... Beauty and the Beast is one of the classic fairy tales that has been made time and time again. With the new live-action film that portrayed Emma Watson as Belle, Beauty and the Beast made a comeback from the original animated...
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The live-action Beauty and the Beast, I actually pretty like that movie. But some people say that, like, it wasn't the best. And, like, it had kind of, like, a few of poor ratings. But I have to rate the movie. I'd rate it a 4 out of 5 because I thought it was pretty good for like the second time I've ever seen Beauty and the Beast. It was pretty good.
Film. However, should Belle have really ended up with the Beast when all signs point to her loving Aladdin? Yes,
Huh?
the Aladdin,
What?
like Jasmine's Aladdin. Belle was an avid reader, and her favorite book was Aladdin. How do we know this? Well, she describes the book as daring sword fights, magic spells, far-off places, and a prince in disguise. Sure sounds like she'd rather be in the world of Agrabah than in her small country town. Plus, she's taking the book out for the 3rd time. A little obsessive, no? So if Belle did go after Aladdin instead of the Beast, she would have condemned him to a horrific life as the Beast for eternity.
No, Belle!
Not exactly the fairy tale ending audiences are looking for. Belle leaves the Beast to traverse the desert to steal a handsome man away from Prince Jasmine. Would anyone be into that?
I consider myself a reasonable merman.
Ariel saw Anna and Elsa's parents' death.
Woo!
We've all heard the massively popular fan theory that links Frozen, The Little Mermaid, and Tarzan. However, there is a darker theory inside this famous song, Part of Your World, more morbid than whimsical. Elsa and Anna's parents sailed off and later died at the horrific hands of the sea. The ship had to sink somewhere. Either that or they crashed on an island, hence the inclusion of Tarzan. Well, this theory states that they didn't actually crash, but sunk in open waters to their death. Much later, after years of deterioration, Ariel discovers the ship and is mesmerized by all the odd, beautiful things, making them part of her collection. When really, this was all the remains and belongings of the king and queen of Arendelle. Ariel excitedly finds all the new trinkets, until her father comes in and wields his trident, destroying everything she loves. Little does King Triton know, he's also destroying Anna's deceased parents. If this theory is true, it means that Tarzan is not Elsa and Anna's brother. So, Ariel swims around a ship of death. Luckily, she didn't find any skeletons. Maybe that's why Triton didn't want her exploring.
Manly urges, and you just gotta kill something.
Oh my god. I loved Mulan. Mulan was my favorite movie. Mulan has always been my favorite movie. Mulan 1 and 2. I always loved her grandma. Her grandma was my favorite character.
Mulan's lover is gay. Mulan is a classic that has remained a favorite for years. With its catchy songs, Eddie Murphy's voice,
Timonian!
and other issues, this film has it all. It is also one of the Disney films with a princess who does not have a conventional love story. Mulan dresses up, disguised as a man, to save her injured father from surely getting killed in the war. However, as Mulan is dressed up as Ping, she falls in love with Captain Li Shang as she attempts to earn his respect. When Captain Li Shang learns the truth about Mulan, he feels deeply betrayed. But there's more than that. This is where the dark theory comes in.
I don't need anyone causing trouble in my camp.
Of course, Li Shang felt lied to, but he only stopped short of killing Mulan. There was something more there, and that something is heartbreak. Li Shang felt for Ping, thinking that he was returning the feelings, so when he discovered he was a woman, it brought his shame over being gay to the surface, which he then took out on Mulan. The film wraps up with Li Shang visiting Mulan to make amends.
You fight good.
But he does not solidify the relationship with a smooch, which is rare for a Disney film. Perhaps Li Shang was Disney's first gay character, so why didn't Disney just come Moana is a lie.
No.
Moana is the new gal in the group of Disney princesses, but even her story has a lie that will shock you. We're certain you heard that Moana is based on a true story. where the events were much more tragic than Disney portrayed. But this dark theory states that her wild and brave adventures weren't done alone. Moana may not be the hero she's cracked up to be. During the film, she is caught in a terrible storm, battles pirates, and falls into a realm of monsters. But according to a Reddit theory, Moana was never actually in danger. She seems to face all these life-threatening perils with ease. She possesses the heart of Tafiti, so maybe that's what's protecting her. The theory states that the heart of Tafiti gives life-extending powers to whoever has it, which would make sense that she so effortlessly faces these events. The theory goes on to say that Tala, Moana's grandmother, was unable to die while having the artifact, hence why she dies as soon as she gives it to Moana. So if this magical theory is true, that means that Moana could never die while holding it. This doesn't necessarily make the film darker, it just makes it more boring knowing Moana's life is never actually at risk. Way to ruin the I already have. Elsa is abused. Frozen was 2013's epic Disney film that pretty much took over the world. No exaggeration. Between the famous song Let It Go and the beautiful leads, children and adults were enamored. But there's a darker side to the story that isn't talked about. Sure, it's a theory. However, it seems so spot on, we wonder if Disney knew it could be interpreted like this. This theory throws a shadow on the king and queen. First off, Elsa was locked away for years by her parents and was taught to suppress her feelings. This is obvious neglect and abuse. It gets worse. Later in the story, Hans puts Elsa in a dungeon, but Elsa can build a house out of ice in seconds. So how can he just lock up a winter sorcerer unless someone told him how? The theory says Elsa's parents told Hans to use the iron shackles. Also, it's pretty odd that a dungeon with everything needed to keep her powers under control was already constructed on the castle grounds. It seems like Elsa's parents were afraid of her powers and made precautions for when she grew up.
This is getting out of hand.
Poor Elsa was a victim of abuse. At least she overcame the trauma. Cinderella contains mutilation. This is another wonderfully awful story that you're going to love hearing. Cinderella has definitely had a hard life, but there's more to this fairy tale than meets the eye. In Charles Perrault's telling of the story, it wasn't all princes singing rodents in glass slippers. It involved some pretty gruesome mutilation and blood. You heard that right, mutilation. After the magical night of the ball, the prince shows up to the stepmother's house, looking for his one true love with a glass slipper in hand. The evil mother orders her daughters to cut off their toes to fit the slippers, as any logical parent would tell their children. The prince still finds his beloved Cinderella and marries her. If it wasn't enough to mutilate your own body to try and win the hand of a prince, the sisters also had their eyes pecked out by pigeons at their wedding. We're not exactly sure why the evil stepsisters had this happen to them, as they are just the result of bad parenting. So why didn't the pigeons go after the stepmother? We guess that this is just another example of an unfair world. Oh well, at least Cinderella got the prince. Now you'll never look at this classic movie ever again. You're welcome.
I just love happy endings.
Which of these dark Disney princess theories did
Okay then, bye. My dog just walked into my room and then walked out. How rude. Anyways, that is it for, oh my god. This is it for my reaction. I've heard about some of these before. I definitely have. Which one was it? I heard about the ones where they tried to connect Frozen with Tarzan, but I never heard of them trying to connect it with The Little Mermaid. And then I already forgot what I've watched in this video. The Prince. I've heard about the Sleeping Beauty one. I think I've heard about the one as about Disney. Oh my god, Disney. Walt Disney doesn't want mothers in movies. I didn't know it was 17 movies or people without parents. I didn't know all that, but I knew most of it. That's it for this reaction video. Hope you guys enjoyed. please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to check that description down below. You guys know the rules. I done left the building. Peace. Bye. Also, don't forget to click that bell to be notified every time I upload.